Have you ever dreamed of living in space, where you can float around, see the stars, and have a blast? Well, wake up, because space is not a playground, but a battleground. It's full of obstacles, dangers, and enemies that will make your life miserable. You thought everything in Australia was trying to kill you. Just wait until you see what living on another planet could be like. In this video, we'll tell you why colonizing space is so hard and so important, and why you may want to stay on Earth, where it's safe. Yeah, safe, sure. Did you know that the US and China are racing to establish a presence on the moon? The US wants to send astronauts back to the lunar surface by 2024, and China plans to build a permanent base there by 2030. Both countries see the moon as a strategic asset, and a potential source of valuable resources like water and helium-3. But who has the right to claim the moon? And what happens if they clash over it? And what about Russia and the EU? They're clashing over the legal status of space resources. Russia says that space belongs to everyone, and no one can own or exploit it. The EU says that space is like the high seas, and anyone can use it as long as they follow some rules. And don't forget about the private companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin. They are challenging the hegemony of national space agencies. They have their own ambitions and agendas, and they're not afraid to push the boundaries of what's possible. They want to make space accessible and affordable for everyone, but they also want to make a profit. Wow, that's a lot of drama in space, right? As you can see, space is a very crowded and contested place. But what if we want to go beyond orbit and colonize other planets or moons? Well, that's a whole different story, and it's not an easy one. In fact, it's one of the hardest things humans can ever do. Let me tell you why. Let's start with the first reason. Are you ready? Here it goes. It's very expensive. Yeah, I know, shocking, right? I bet you didn't see that coming. The estimated cost of sending one person to Mars is about $10 billion. And that's just for a one-way trip, without guaranteed delivery. Imagine how much it would cost to send a whole colony, and to sustain it for years or decades. And that's not even counting the cost of building the infrastructure, the habitats, the vehicles, the power sources, the communication systems, and so on. So who's going to foot the bill for all this? The governments, the private companies, the billionaires, the taxpayers? The answer is probably all of the above, and more. Space colonization will need a ton of cash from many pockets, and a lot of teamwork and harmony among them. And that brings us to the second reason why colonizing space is so hard. It's a mess, a big one. Space colonization is not just about rockets and cool toys, it's like planning the biggest party ever. We've got scientists, engineers, politicians, economists, ethicists. It's a wild mix. Yes, the universe is our playground, but guess what? There are some tricky questions we need to answer before blasting off. First up, who's the boss of space? It's like the game of space Monopoly. Imagine nations, corporations, and maybe even your grandma, all fighting for that prime lunar real estate. It's a battle royale. But who makes the rules? Who sets the prices? Who collects the rent? Well, according to the Outer Space Treaty of 1967, no one can claim sovereignty over any part of space, including the moon and other celestial bodies. But that doesn't stop some countries and companies from trying to stake their claim, or at least get a piece of the action, right? Now the guest list. Who gets the golden ticket to space? Is it astronauts, billionaires, or your friendly neighborhood alien? Decisions. Well, it depends on who's inviting and who's paying. For a long time, only astronauts from a few countries had the privilege of going to space, thanks to their government space programs. But now things are changing. More and more countries are joining the space club, and more private companies offering space services. And then the space government. Who's in charge? Is it a president, a robot, or a talking space pineapple? Hey, anything's possible out there. Right now, there's no single authority that governs space. Instead, there are many different organizations and agencies that deal with different aspects of space activities. As you know, there are already fights over the legal status of the moon, the asteroids, and other space rocks, and whether they can be grabbed, used, or saved by anyone, or does it have a no trespassing sign? There are also arguments over the environmental impact of space activities, and whether they may screw up the natural order of the solar system, or create space junk that may smash into other spacecraft. Well, I told you it's a mess. So how do we solve this space puzzle and make space colonization easy? First things first, we need to agree on how we're going to share this huge space land. It's like cutting a big cake, making sure everyone gets a fair piece. We need a space rulebook, a space law, and a team to keep things in order. We're talking about making a space club, but with cooler outfits. But hold on tight, because here comes the hard part. Space is risky business. It's like rolling the dice in a galactic casino. We're dealing with wild cards like cosmic rays, space storms, and unexpected surprises. Imagine your spaceship facing challenges like a sci-fi roller coaster, dodging asteroids and dancing through solar flares. And some of these risks are unknown, such as alien life, exotic phenomena, or black swans, and so on. So after hearing all this, you may ask, why bother? Why go through all this trouble and spend all this money and take all this risk to colonize space? What's the point? Well, space colonization is a big deal, and here's why. It's like having an extra life for humanity in case we lose the game on Earth. And we all know how hard the game is. You never know when something bad might happen, like a big earthquake, a volcano, or a nuclear war. We could still survive as a species if we have people living in other places. Also, space colonization is our ticket to explore space in exciting ways that would be very hard from Earth. Imagine mining asteroids for important resources, setting up research stations to study distant stars, and building huge telescopes to see the universe up close. It's like turning our universe into a big, awesome wonderland. Space colonization is like hitting the jackpot. No more fighting over tiny bits of oil, water, and stuff on Earth. Why? Because we can get as much as we want from space. No more fighting over resources, and more peace in the world. But it's not only about getting along, it's also a great way to learn new things. Imagine living on other planets and doing experiments there. We can see things that we can't see from Earth, like different air, weather, and rocks. It's like a big adventure where we can discover new secrets. And there's more. We can use space to test our skills and creativity. Think about how hard it is to live in space. We need to find ways to get food, water, and air, and to get rid of waste. That's a big challenge. But the good thing is that what we invent in space can also help us on Earth, like better ways to recycle or grow food. And get ready, because space infrastructure might be our gateway to future tech. How cool would it be to build stuff on other planets? It's like playing Lego on an interstellar scale, learning how to construct with different materials, gravity levels, and alien atmospheres. Yeah, that's a fun way to learn new things. Space colonization is also a great opportunity to rethink how civilization should work from scratch. You see, in the past, most people thought that civilization had to be run by big bossy governments that controlled everything. But space colonization flips the script. It gives us a chance to start fresh, and to be more independent and free. Imagine living in a space community where you can choose how to live, work, and play without anyone telling you what to do. Wouldn't that be amazing? Colonizing space is not only good for us, but also for the world. It can make the world more peaceful and stable by reducing the conflicts over resources and land that cause so much trouble. It can also make us respect each other more by showing us the diversity and beauty of life in the universe. We are on an amazing journey to the stars, exploring the wonders of the cosmos. It's not just a physical adventure, but also a philosophical one. Colonizing space might help us discover who we are, where we came from, and where we're going. So what are you waiting for? Let's go to space and make our dreams come true. Well, I think I got too excited. Sorry. Maybe in 50 years, or maybe sooner, if Elon Musk has anything to do with it. But I'm curious, what do you think about living in space? If you could live on any planet or space object in the solar system, which one would you pick and why? Let me know in the comments section. Yeah, like you have a lot of options, right? And now the most cliche part. If you enjoyed our content, don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing space videos. Seriously, this channel is full of gems waiting for your click, like the one you can see in the middle of the screen right now. You're just one click away from another great adventure. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.